You want anger? You want chaos? You want a moment so disrespectful to an entire locker room that it forces people to argue in the comments? Then let's say the quiet part out loud. If Randy Orton can still walk into SmackDown in 2026 and outclass an entire generation, what does that say about everyone else? Yeah, sit with that. Because on February 6, 2026, Randy Orton didn't just qualify for the Elimination Chamber. He exposed something the WWE Universe refuses to admit. And before this script ends, you're either going to defend your favorites with your chest, or you're going to realize why they're still chasing a shadow they can't escape. The bell rings and instantly, the lie dies. This isn't a nostalgia run. This isn't a thank you for your service match. This is Randy Orton hunting. No wasted motion, no unnecessary taunts. Just that cold, unreadable stare that's ended more careers than most superstars have wins. Quick question, answer honestly in the comments. When Orton locked eyes with his opponent, did you already know how this was going to end? Because history has taught us something simple. If Randy Orton is calm, someone else is about to panic. The opening exchange is surgical. A lock-up, a shove, a perfectly timed arm drag that sends his opponent scrambling. No flash, no flare, just dominance. And here's what should make you mad: Orton makes it look easy. The opponent tries to speed things up. Quick kicks, fast strikes, a drop kick that finally knocks Orton to the mat. Crowd pops, but Orton rolls to the ropes, not hurt, thinking. That's the difference. Let me ask you this. Is there anyone in WWE history better at slowing a match down to their pace than Randy Orton? Because once the tempo changes, the match stops being competitive. Orton pulls the opponent into a headlock and grinds them down. Every squeeze feels intentional. Every breath stolen feels planned. This is where casual fans get bored. And this is where real ones lean forward. Because Randy Orton doesn't rush finishes. He builds inevitability. A stiff elbow, a knee to the gut, a snap power slam that shakes the ring, and instead of going for the cover, Orton stands up, smiles. That smile is disrespectful. That smile says, "You're not on my level. Drop this below." Is Randy Orton the most psychologically dangerous superstar of all time? Mid-match, the opponent gets desperate. They target the back, they chop the legs, they throw everything at Orton, trying to break the machine, and for a moment it works. Orton stumbles, misses a clothesline, eats a nasty backbreaker. 2 count. The arena gasps, because for half a second people believe. And that belief is exactly what Orton feeds on. He drags himself up using the ropes. Eyes focused, jaw clenched, no panic, just patience. He counters a strike with a scoop slam, follows with another, then another. Vintage Orton. The hanging DDT connects, and the crowd loses its mind. You know what's coming. Everyone knows. But knowing has never been enough to stop it. Orton drops to the mat. That rhythmic pounding begins. The opponent is begging for help they're not going to get. Quick trivia question, be real in the comments. Has anyone ever escaped the RKO once Orton fully sets it up? Because even when it gets countered, the story never changes. The opponent shoves him off, hits a super kick, another near fall. And this is where legends prove why they're legends. The match becomes a war. Strikes are slower but heavier. Every move looks like it hurts more than the last. Orton eats a big move, rolls through, stays alive. He's not faster, he's smarter. And eventually the opponent makes one mistake. 1/2 second of hesitation. They go airborne. RKO. Mid-air. Perfect. Violent. The kind of RKO that makes you swear out loud. 3 count. It's over. Randy Orton has qualified for the Elimination Chamber. And listen closely because the reaction tells the real story. No boos. No disbelief. Just that uncomfortable realization setting in. He's still here. And he's still dangerous. But this isn't about one match. This is about what comes next. The Elimination Chamber isn't built for highlight wrestlers. It's built for survivors. Steel pods. Chain walls. No escape. Now tell me who benefits more from chaos than Randy Orton. Drop this in the comments. Is the Elimination Chamber Orton's environment more than anyone else's? Here's the part that should make you furious. Every time Orton does this, people act surprised. Why? Why do we keep pretending experience doesn't matter? Why do we keep pushing the idea that new automatically means better? Because on February 6, 2026, Randy Orton didn't look old. He looked prepared. He didn't celebrate. He didn't pose. He walked up the ramp with that same expression he's had for 2 decades. The expression of a man who knows the ending before the story starts. And that should terrify everyone else in that chamber. Final question, don't dodge it. If Randy Orton wins the Elimination Chamber, will people finally admit he's one of the greatest of all time, or will they move the goalposts again? Argue. Debate. Get loud. This is Ring Rumble. And after SmackDown, February 6, 2026, ignoring Randy Orton isn't just disrespectful, it's stupid. Good. Because the story doesn't end with a 3 count. it gets worse for everyone else. Let's talk about what people missed after the bell rang. Randy Orton didn't raise his arms, didn't soak in the cheers, didn't even acknowledge the camera right away. He stood there breathing, scanning the arena, like a predator checking for movement. That's not habit, that's mindset. Quick question, drop it in the comments without overthinking it. When was the last time Randy Orton looked nervous in a big match? Exactly. Now rewind the match in your head for a second. Notice something? At no point did Orton look rushed. At no point did he look like he was trying to impress. That's because Randy Orton doesn't wrestle for approval. He wrestles to remind. And what he reminded everyone on SmackDown is uncomfortable. No matter how many flips you add, no matter how many catchphrases you invent, no matter how loud the crowd screams, if you make one mistake, you're done. Let's break down the most disrespectful part of this match. The opponent knew the RKO was coming. The crowd knew. The commentary team was practically screaming it. And it still happened. Mid-air. That's not coincidence. That's inevitability. Answer this honestly in the comments. Is the RKO the most protected finishing move in wrestling history? Because name another move that hits this clean, this often, this late into a career. I'll wait. And here's where the anger should really kick in. Why does Randy Orton still feel like the final boss? He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest. He's not the flashiest. But he's the most dangerous. Because danger isn't about speed. It's about timing. Now let's talk Elimination Chamber. Because this is where things stop being fun. 6 men, steel pods, chain walls, no disqualifications, no shortcuts. And let me ask you something nobody wants to admit. Who benefits most when chaos replaces structure? Randy Orton has made a career out of chaos. People forget this is a man who has betrayed entire factions, ended partnerships without warning, struck legends when their backs were turned. The chamber isn't just a match, it's a playground. Picture it. 2 men start. The countdown begins. Orton doesn't need to start strong. He doesn't need to dominate early. He waits. He watches. He learns. Trivia time, answer below. Do you think Orton prefers entering the chamber early or late? Because either way, someone's getting hurt. And let's be real for a second. Every superstar in that chamber knows one thing. You don't hear the RKO coming. You don't see it forming. You feel it when it's too late. That fear? That hesitation? That's all Orton needs. Now here's the part that WWE fans don't like talking about. If Randy Orton wins the Elimination Chamber, what excuse is left? They can't say part-timer. They can't say lucky. They can't say protected. He earned this spot. He earned this moment. And deep down, people are scared of what it means. Because if Orton walks into WrestleMania season as a chamber winner, that changes everything. Champions start looking over their shoulders. Contenders start second-guessing themselves. And suddenly, the future doesn't feel so guaranteed. Drop this one in the comments, it matters. Would you rather see Randy Orton challenge for a world title in 2026, or should WWE move on completely? No middle ground. Let's address the elephant in the room. People say Orton is boring. What they really mean is this. He doesn't need to do extra. He doesn't need to beg for attention. He lets fear do the talking. And fear ages better than athleticism. Think about the SmackDown roster right now. So much talent. So much hunger. And yet, one man with a cold stare and a 3-letter move just punched his ticket to the most dangerous match of the year. That should make people uncomfortable. It should make people angry. Because it exposes something brutal. The bar isn't being raised. It's being revisited. Now answer this and don't lie to yourself. If Randy Orton wasn't in that qualifier match, would it have felt as important? Exactly. By the time the show faded out, the message was clear. Randy Orton doesn't need momentum. He's momentum. And the worst part? He hasn't even shown everything yet. So here we are. An Elimination Chamber spot secured. A locker room on edge. A fan base divided. Some want him gone. Some want one more run. Some are scared to admit they still believe. Which one are you? Drop your answer. Argue it out. Share this video with someone who thinks Orton is finished. Because whether you like it or not, on SmackDown, February 6, 2026, Randy Orton didn't just qualify. He reminded everyone why the Viper never stops striking. And the chamber, that's just the next victim.